Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm gonna show you how to do this gorgeous bezel for this 14mm Rivoli. Now I have done some other videos for 14mm Rivolis. I'm just gonna polish this with my bead mat so you can see how beautiful it is. I guess I'm gonna have to clean this a little better. Of course, I could have done it before the video. Anyway, so this will fit any size 14mm Rivoli, and this is for a particular bracelet, so stay tuned for the upcoming videos on this bracelet. I'm just adjusting this a bit to make sure it's actually on there pretty good. You can see how, like, this side here you don't see the second row of beads, but on this side, but you can see it on this side. So that's my little pet peeve, where I try to adjust the beads so that it's even all the way around. But anyway, so let's get started. So you're going to need some 14mm Rivoli, or you could use a button if you had a 14mm button that you wanted to embellish. That would be a really fun thing to do. So I will take a look and see if I have some 14mm buttons and do that. Oh, I just messed up all my beads. I've already counted out the amount that you need, so I'll just show you that here. Okay, so you're going to need some Delica beads, 11s. There's the number for these. These were given to me as a gift, so I have no idea what color they are. It looks like a matte silver galvanized 11-0. They're really pretty. I've used them before. So you're going to need those. You don't need a whole lot. To bezel this, you need 36 on your line, and I'm using crystal number 6 dragon thread from Potomac Beads. Some people have asked me where it's from. I do believe that they make these specifically for Potomac Beads. So that's this stuff here. It's a little less expensive. It's thinner than, say, a fire line, so you can go through it multiple times through your small beads. So that's why I like it. And then you're going to need some 15-0, where am I here? 15-0 seed beads. So let's get these out. I have these really interesting, I got these, geez, I can't remember where I bought them, but when I got them, this is how they came, the caps, which is great because you can use it like a salt shaker. And look at, we don't need that many of these. It's super cool. I have to reorganize my 50-0s in little beads like this, little containers. So put those out. Okay, I'm using a size 10 needle. You can use a size 12 or 11, whatever you do. You don't quite need a full wingspan of thread. So I have maybe 10 inches of thread. You're going to take your 36 beads and you're going to put them somewhat at the middle, either at the middle of your thread or slightly down from it. And the reason being is we are going to start by doing the back. So we're going to start with this peyote pattern here, and then we're going to add 2 rows of the 15-0s. We're going to put our Rivoli in, we're going to flip it, and then we're going to cinch it in with 1 row of 15-0s. So to do that, we're going to use our tail thread to do this section here. So you're using the 2 separate ones, and what that does is it gives you the ability to cinch in the beads where you want them on both sides. So if you keep your both sides separate, it works great. You know what? Stephanie from Bronze Pony does that. It shows you how to do it. And I resisted and resisted. I'm like, oh, how lazy is that? I didn't want to take my needle off. Now, she even does it sometimes where she has 2 needles on, so that you don't even have to, for us as YouTubers, switching your needle and threading your needle sometimes doesn't work out in a video. So that's why she does that. But you know what? It is so worth it. Switch your needle. I'm telling you. So let's count these. We've got 5, and 5 is 10. Then we have 5, and 5 is 10. 5, and 5 is 10. So you have 10, 20, 30, and then 36. That's what you need. So let's grab our needle, take and create a loop like this, flip it and go through the first bead. And it will close that loop and get you started. So you can hang on to your tail thread to hold your work as well. So something like that. And let me just move. You know what? This one looks really small. Let me check that. I'm working on a bunch of different designs all at once. And so in case you're wondering, I use this caliper to check my sizes of my beads and everything. And initially I was like, oh, metal one, I don't know if I want to use that and scratch up my beads. I haven't had any problems with it. And I did notice that they sell these on BB Craft, 2 of them for I think $5 maybe. I'll double check that, but really good deal because I think I paid like $10 on Amazon for one. Now, you only do need one, but you could give one to a friend. Yeah, this is 14. I don't know why. I think some colors look different to me. Isn't that funny? So let's grab a hold of our tail. So the whole idea was I wanted to move these over. I like to have them next to my hand. Okay, so you're going to pick up an 11-0 Delica. We're coming out of this bead here. We're going to skip this one. We're going to go through the next one. And right there like that. Just going to hang on to that so it doesn't flop all over the place. Like that. Pick up another one. You're coming out of here. Skipping that one. You're going to go through the next one. And that's why I hold on to my beads when I'm doing stuff. So let's just cinch these guys back together. These two are supposed to be side by side. Like that. And that one's next to that one. Like that. So let me hang on to this this way. So pick up one. Coming out of here, skip that one, go through the next one. And I put my finger over it too, but I want you guys to see what's happening with your thread. There. Second one. Pick up another 11-0. Coming out of this one, skip the next one and go through like that. And let's get that going through the right way here. There. That. And keep going around. So I'm going to go a little bit faster. If you need to see this a little bit slower, you can either slow down the video, or you can check one of my other videos. I have done these before in a demonstration video, otherwise known as a tutorial. So there we go. I want to show you how fast these are. You can do these. Now you might say, oh, you've done so many of these. I actually haven't done as many as I would like to. You know, it's funny because I do so many YouTube videos that sometimes the actual beading that I do on my own, I don't do a lot. So if I wasn't doing YouTube videos, the boxes of like the little sorting containers that I have for my beads, I have some that are, I probably have about 10 of them that are full of Rivolis. I would have them all done. They would be totally finished in like bezeled. I actually have a box of all different types of bezeling that I've done. I had to go through it, so I might go through that throughout the summer to figure some new designs out. And this one, so here I just made a mistake. I skipped 2 beads instead of the one, so just go back through the last bead like that. Not a big deal. Through, and then get the next one like that. There. Keep going. So it's easy when you're going fast and not paying attention to get messed up. Go through here. Oh, I hate when that happens. For some reason your thread gets hooked and it just pulls your work right out of your hands. Okay, let me grab this again. There, that didn't do any damage. And that's why I put my thumb on it. And sometimes your bead, you can see the thread's twisted. Just straighten out the bead, get it in there. That. I must have a wingspan on here because normally I don't use a wingspan for these little ones, but I feel like I'm pulling a lot of thread here. Like that. And let me get my thread out of there. There. So this is the last one. Coming out of this thread here, we want to put a bead here. So let's pick one up, put it in this slot. We're going to go through this bead and through the next bead on an angle so that we can add our 15s. And that is how simple it is to get it started. You could do more rows of Delicas if you wanted. If you wanted to cover a little more of your crystal, I want to keep my crystal as pristine as possible. Yes, yes. Okay, so let's move those guys over. Don't need those anymore. These ones are a little harder to see. I apologize, but they look really amazing with these. Okay. So let's keep going. Pick up 15 and just put one in each of those slots. Like that. Yeah, there's a lot of thread on there. Now, sometimes I do put thread on there because I want to use it to attach my bracelet together. So if you're going to do that, just be sure to either tie a knot in your thread before you start attaching beads, or weave it through your peyote stitch and go back and forth through it, and I'll show you what I mean by that when we get to the other side. But you can see I'm just putting a slight tension and it's starting to curve. I think we might want a little more curve. I did just finish doing another video and I didn't have it as curved as I wanted. So it's just a little bit. And you can see how super quick this is. There we go. So I will be doing kind of a, they won't necessarily be part 1, part 2 videos, but I will be doing a video showing you how to make a bracelet with these Rivolis once they're done. So be sure to take a look. If you have any ideas, please let me know. I am surprised. So I have a basic type of bracelet that I do where I do these bezels and then I just add pearls in between the bezels and Rivolis so that I can attach them into a bracelet. But I want to do some other designs, and I went looking and I really couldn't find a lot. I'm like, I'm sure there's got to be some. So this is the last one. So let's take a look at it from this side. Yeah, I think better to do it this way. Okay, so you can see there's a spot here where you need to put a 15-0 bead. So my thread's coming out of this one. I'm going to go through this delica here and through this 15-0 and we'll start the next row. So just go like that and bring your needle through both of them. Make sure that doesn't get caught on anything like that. So let's make sure. I'm gonna get my Rivoli. These are all turned around here. So you can put it that. We were gonna put it the other way, but what I want to do is see where I need to create some tension here. So that I just pulled it a little bit and that worked. So really this is going to go this way. That. Okay, so we don't have to put that in yet. We're going to continue with this. Now we're going to continue with 15s and we're going to attach all these little 15s together. So coming out of this one, skip that spot and go through here. And now just go and add one of those 15s in all of those slots. And I'm pulling it snug. So the big thing with these I find is finding your tension. So decide where you want which beads you want to show on the bezel. So if you want to see some of your delicas, you might want more tension. If you don't, then a little less tension. Because if you're only doing the 2 rows of delicas at the beginning, then those delicas should sit on the edge of the Rivoli like that. And the 15-0s will pull everything in so that it's snug onto the Rivoli. Got quiet all of a sudden. So I hope everybody's doing well and you're having a nice summer. So you can see how fast you can get these done. Super, super fun. These Swarovski Rivolis, I have to say thank you to Kath from England. They are stunning. I remember, if you go back and look at the unboxing videos, I'm sure you'll see how excited I was getting them. And the best thing about a gift is going back and looking at the items and playing with them. That was so nice of her to do that. So this is our last one. So it's a little hard to show you with these 15s, but let's show you this way. Okay, so I'm coming out of this 15-0. I want to put one right here in this area. So I'm going to go through with my 15-0. I'm going to go through this 15-0 here, and I'm going to go up on an angle and through here. And I'm going to leave that thread there for tightening, and then I'll weave it back in. For the most part, I'm going through the wrong bead there. Go through the 15 here. I go through my last 2 rows to reinforce and tighten. So in case you're wondering, how do you keep your bezel from coming out? That's how. So take a look. That's what it's going to look like. And let's put our Rivoli in there. Look at that. That's perfect. That's like the perfect tension. So that's the front. This is the back. So it is up a bit. So I'm going to hold it with my thumb in the space that I want. You can see I've twisted it around my finger. And I'm going to pull to get those 15-0s. And look, they're lovely. They've tightened really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to leave that like that. Take the needle off of this thread. And the reason I'm going to leave it is because, like I said before, I'm going to go through. It takes like maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes to go through all of them. What I'm going to do is I'll get it started so you can see. So my thread's coming out of that top 15-0. I'm going to go through the low 15-0 and the top 15-0 all at once. Like that. And through, and I'm going to do that all the way around. So the reason I do it after I put the other side, because I want to get the other side tight, so when I do this, I will actually pull tight to get those beads sitting nicely down. But you can see it looks amazing in that. And let me just show you what it would look like if you decided to add 2 rows of 50-0s to the front of your Rivoli. So let's pop that out and pop it in. That's what it would look like. So it looks beautiful both ways. Now let's show you the difference. Actually, I may go back and add another row to my others. Let's put this here so you can see it. Thread out of the way. Okay, there's that one. And there. So there's the difference if you want to do 2 rows of 50-0s to the front or just the 1 row. I feel like this looks a little more Art Deco. It's very streamlined. This is a little more frilly kind of looking to me, but that's all a matter of opinion. So let's do the second side here. So let's remember this is our back side for my design, like that. So I am going to get these guys to the front. So let me get my needle off here. And get this rethreaded. Here's the thing with the size 10 needle, it's easier to thread. If you're wondering why, you can call me a cheater, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Okay, so my thread is coming out of this middle bead. I want to be in this top bead. So let's start by doing that. And we can also pull a bit. It's not going to tighten too much. That's that middle row anyway. But now we're going to add our 15s into these little slots. So take a 15, go to the next, there, and 15. Make sure you don't cross over your thread. So depending on where your thread, this part of the thread is, let me grab a bead here, go through here, and you can tighten that. So this one here, you can start to tighten these because the shape is pretty well there with this. And just keep going around, adding your 15s. And I grab my thread to turn the Rivoli to the next one. You can now just watch, it does this a lot where it hooks onto the previous bead. So you see my thread's kind of in the way. I'm just going to go like that, but make sure you go under it. Otherwise, if you go through it, you'll have a loop around your bead. Turn 15. Keep going around. There. Go. Now, as I'm pulling it, I can feel the pulling of this underneath. So just be aware, depending on how much you want of your beads showing at the front, to be careful. Now, when we go to the back side again, I lose my thread almost. When we go to tighten the back side, it will pull that back again. Not a whole lot, but what that does is it cinches it so that it's on there nice and tight. So your bezel won't go anywhere. Unhook that. And one more. Now I'm going to go through the last one, but I'm going to go through the 15-0 here. This way I can decide whether I want to add a second row or I'm ready to start reinforcing those beads at the front. So let's take a look at the comparison between the two. So this one I did pull a bit tighter, so the beads are coming closer to the middle. So you're getting more of your beads showing. So this is one row, this is a second row that's actually showing, and you can see it here too. You can't see it as much on the sides here, but this is what I want for the most part. So I do want to, you can take it with your fingers and just even it out so that it's the same all the way around. And then I'm going to change my needle and go to the back again, and I'm going to like pull these tight so that these ones stay in there. But before I do that, I am going to go through all of these beads, just the first delica and the 15, and I'm going to go all the way around, kind of pulling it a bit tight when I'm going, but you can see how fast this is. So if you think, oh, I don't know if I want to do that extra step, I do find that it makes a huge difference to my work. The bezels do not go anywhere when you do that. So just keep going around. And you don't have to pull super tight on the front. I would recommend you don't. Just snug, because once we go to the back, you pull tight on the back, and the back will go like this. It will take these out a bit, but it makes it super tight. And I know I've said that a couple of times. I'll tell you, it's so frustrating when you get finished a bezel and you're working with it and you kind of move like this and it's moving, and you're worried that it's going to pop out. So that's a good way to get it nicely reinforced. Okay, so where's that? So I'm using my other thread as my gauge where I started. So I need to go a few more to finish this off on the front. I usually do a couple past that thread. So this would be equal with the back thread. So let's do 2 on this. That. Now what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to tie it off. So I'll show you how to do that. If you're doing this yourself, what you should do is maybe leave this thread on, then reinforce the back, and then come through and get rid of your threads. The reason being is if you tighten this and you realize it pulled this apart too much, you still have your thread. You can fix it. This is all fixable. So that's coming out of this 15-0. I'm going to go through 3 11-0 delicas all at once, like that. Okay. You can pull it a bit tight there. Now we're going to go thread over to the delica next to it. So your thread's coming out of this delica. We're going to come over here. And normally what I would do is just cross into the 3 beads here. Like that. Okay. And tight. Do the same thing back the other way. So this is what I was saying. If you use a 15 or a size 12 needle, this needle doesn't bend. A size 12 will bend. What this is doing, it's lifting that bead off, which is affecting this tension. So just be careful with that. You might want to go through individual beads. That's ready to go. Like, I can get rid of this thread now. Everything's nicely. So let's get rid of this thread. I'm going to keep the long thread because I'm going to use it to attach my beads. And I haven't decided. I may embellish this with some other beads. So you can see it's still kind of loosey-goosey. Look. Not a big deal once we tighten these guys. And actually we can tighten this right now. Just check which direction your thread is coming out of and tighten in that direction. So let's hang on to everything and pull. And I can feel it tightening. So now it's super tight there. Just going this way. Again. There, that should do it. Oh yeah, that's tight. That's not going anywhere. So as you can see, it's uneven. You can see more of the beads here than you can here. So just scooch that up, get that back. There. And there you should be good. These are not always going to be totally the same. So let's thread this back on and get that in there. Okay, so now we're going to go through all the 50 O's together. So 2 rows of 50 O's at once. So that's 1 and 2. And we're just going to do that all the way around. So you can see there's some movement in there. We want to get that nice and tight. Always move your thread in the direction it's going with the beads pulling towards the middle, like that. And keep going around. So if you have any suggestions for me, what type of embellishments to do, let me know. I have some really nice super duos that are trying to think of the finish name. It's like a capri finish, so it has some gold and blues, and it might look nice. The other reason to keep the other thread, I just thought of, so we know when we've gone around. Whoops. This is getting nice and tight, just where I want it. There. Let's see what we have. This is beautiful. This is perfect. Yep. That's the ticket. So I think I need to do a few more here, and then I'm done. You can do more than once around. Like, it's gonna get sticky in those 15s, but I've been using a size 10 needle, and I'm still going through them, no problem. So I think I'll stop here. So again, I will take my thread. Let me just make sure it's where I want it here. So you can do a design in here as well. And actually somebody asked me about that I mentioned it, and they said that, yeah, let's give us an idea of a design. So I'll come back and do another one of those where we can focus on the design on the front or on the back. Do like a little pattern in there with beads. So let me bring my thread to the side now. So I'm going to go through the next 15 and the next, let's do the next 15 to start with. There. I'm going to go through a few of the delicas. So I went through all 3 delicas. And basically do the same thing we did on the other side. So your thread over to the bead next to it, and then on an angle through the 3. Like that. What that does is it anchors your thread. So now when we go to add beads, so I'm just going to come out the middle. You're probably going to want to add your beads in the middle bead. Like that. Like that. And then I have some blue beads to show you, so see what it looks like. These are Swarovski 8mm pearls. Oh my god, they're so beautiful. Let's get these both on here. So let's just go down one of these middle delicas. And I would, the design that I do all the time is something like this. But there we go. So beautiful. That's it. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.